Hi, my name is Sarah. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are, and welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little different to the rest of the content on here. I plan to make this a sort of lifestyle vlog channel. Today's video is going to be different because it's going to be this sort of setting, kind of a sit-down video, just to talk about my story and who I am and all of that sort of thing. So to give you a little bit of background story, my name is Sarah, like I said. I'm 30 right now. I'm married. My husband's name is Angel and he's 32. We live in Florida currently. We have 3 cats and a dog, which you're probably gonna see around, scattered all over the place, since I'm gonna be, filming my day-to-day life and stuff. You will not get to meet my husband in this video, but you'll probably see him around, the vlogs and stuff. So, aside from filming just my day-to-day life, I want to take you to any sort of trip that we have going on, which we do have an upcoming trip in 2 months. We leave in June, so we're gonna be traveling to Greece for around my husband's birthday. It's not for his birthday, but we will be traveling during his birthday, because I think we leave on the 22nd and his birthday is on the 24th, like I said, June. So we're going with his family and I plan on taking you guys with me and stuff, so that's gonna be really fun. And we've never been to Greece, so it's gonna be an adventure. I get really anxious. I'm an anxious person, but I try not to let my fears get the best of me. So I'm really excited to kind of just branch out and just have fun, really. So we have that going on. And also I wanted to include in these vlogs our trying to conceive journey. We've been trying to start a family for 3 years now, and so that's also a part of our journey. So that's why I wanted to include that on here. I don't necessarily want to make it kind of a different or a series of its own, I guess you could say. In the long run, once I have a lot of videos specific to our trying to conceive journey, then I guess I'll compile them all into a playlist, so I can link them down below so that you can kind of binge all of those if you would like. But that's just gonna be, and just included in all the rest of the content that I film. Just, because it's probably just gonna be me most of the time, just doing stuff around my house or going places or whatever. So if you're interested in any of that, then be sure to subscribe to my channel, because especially starting out like this, it'll help me out a lot to know whether I'm doing a good job. And like this video and leave a comment down below if you hear little footsteps or going around. That's my dog, by the way. So again, like this video, leave me a comment down below with any questions you may have, and I'll be sure to answer those for you. But yeah, I want to kind of take you through how my husband and I met. I'll make it, short and sweet. We met when we were, oh my gosh, I think we met in 2011, around 2011, just in passing. My brother-in-law introduced us. I think we were at a bar, like it's like an arcade, and so we met there. If I was around 18, he must have been around 20, and so my brother-in-law just kind of like introduced us. We said hey. I was with somebody else at the time, so we didn't exchange phone numbers. We didn't, like continue talking or anything. We didn't even see each other at all until 2014. We went to an anime convention. We're into anime and gaming and stuff like that, my husband and I. And so we had gone to, separately, we had gone to this convention, this anime convention. And so I was there with my sister, my brother-in-law, my best friend, and I can't remember who else, I'm sorry. And so he ran into my brother-in-law and we got reintroduced to each other, and we exchanged phone numbers then. We just, we were literally inseparable since then. So we got engaged in 2016 at my graduation from college, and then we got married in 2017. So we've been married for almost 6 years. It'll be 6 years in August. And we have been together, in total, for a total of 9 years. As of yesterday, because our anniversary was yesterday. So yeah, we celebrate both of those. We celebrate just our relationship in general, and then we celebrate our wedding anniversary as well. So that's kind of our story in a nutshell. As far as our trying to conceive journey goes, we have been trying to conceive for 3 years now, since 2020. And so I wanted to get a little bit into what that's been like, because it's been quite the journey, and I have not really talked about any of this on social media of any kind, anywhere. And a lot of my family members even, and my friends, my closest friends, don't really know the whole story. Only very few people know the whole story. So I wanted to kind of include that in this video, so that it's kind of in one place, so that I can kind of refer people to it, and so that you all know, who know nothing about me, where this journey all started. So disclaimer, this is going to be a lot of information, like TMI for a lot of people. So if you're not interested in knowing about my menstrual cycles and stuff like that, which I'm not squeamish about, I have no problem in talking about that, because that's just a normal part of being a woman, then you can just totally click off or skip to, I guess I'll have a timestamp around somewhere or in the description down below, to where you can skip and I'm done talking about all of that sort of thing. But so when and I'm not gonna completely talk about my whole life here, but just to give you a little bit of context, I have always had issues with my periods. So whether it's one thing or another, like I went from having amenorrhea, which is the absence of periods. Some people only have just a few periods a year, so that's amenorrhea. And then menorrhagia, which is what I'm struggling with right now, which is where you have very prolonged periods. Started out as a teen, just having very few periods a year, to somewhere in my 20s, switching from few periods a year to very prolonged periods, to the point where I got a blood transfusion at once. Like, I had to be hospitalized for it, which was really scary. And so I already knew that we were going to have trouble trying to conceive, and that is why it has taken us 3 years to this day. It's been this long, and we have been unsuccessful because of my issues with my cycles. So 2017, the year we got married, I got diagnosed with PCOS. Now, that was kind of a hard pill to swallow, because yes, I already knew that I was having issues and stuff, but we weren't necessarily actively trying to start a family yet. So that's kind of when things started getting more real. My then gynecologist and I had a conversation about starting a family and stuff like that, and she basically told me that I needed to spend a couple of years kind of getting my body ready to regulated before starting to try. And so it was 2017, 18, 19 until 2020. It's around 4 years. We moved. Okay, so my diagnosis was back in Puerto Rico, and we moved to Florida, where we are currently, in 2018. And so I started seeing a new gynecologist. They ran a bunch of tests just to kind of confirm that, just to kind of confirm my diagnosis, which it was confirmed. And then I had a conversation with my gynecologist then about family planning and stuff like that. And so that's kind of when it all started. I had been on birth control on and off for years now, since I was a teen. One of the things that was helping me have more regular cycles was contraceptives. But of course, you know that you can't be on contraceptives if you're just trying to start a family. So that's why I had a conversation with my then gynecologist to kind of come off of those, so that what would be the next steps in starting that whole process of starting a family. So she put me on birth control to see if coming off of it would regulate my cycles for good, I would naturally regulate after coming off of them. And I had told her that previously that that didn't work for me, that had never worked for me before, but she wanted to do it anyway, so we did that. I was on birth control for 3 months, didn't work. Again for 3 months, didn't work. Again for 6 months, and it didn't work. And so I said I wanted to put a stop to it, so I didn't want to go back on birth control. She didn't know how else to help me, because that's kind of the method that they use for PCOS patients to kind of start them from ground zero, I guess, is what she explained. And so since I didn't want to go back on birth control, she referred us to a fertility clinic. We couldn't afford it at the time, so we went into just researching stuff on our own, supplements, you know, like diet, a bunch of different things, and it did have an effect. It didn't necessarily make me like regular by any means, though. It just helped a lot of my it did help a lot of my like symptoms and stuff like that. And so we did that for about a year. And the reason why, you know, I say that it didn't make me regular is because it's important to the story. So I came off of birth control October 2020, and then August 2021 we got our first positive pregnancy test. And so I was literally over the moon. I was beside myself. I could not believe that I would ever get to see those two lines. And I, you know, was very quickly just kind of brought down. After receiving that positive, a few days later, I ended up experiencing a chemical pregnancy. So I had bleeding, I had cramping, I started my period, and I went to my doctor and I was dismissed, which is awful. Just it's awful because I was already in denial. I was very aware of my symptoms and everything, of course, but you know, I was seeking some sort of comfort from speaking to my doctor, and you know, maybe she had some, you know, insight to like tell me, you know, about these sort of things. She just kind of chucked it up to it being maybe a false positive. She said there was, because they did an ultrasound, they did I think they did a urine test, and everything was negative. I didn't go to the doctor. I think it was over a week later, just kind of like going through like all of my symptoms and stuff, and like I was googling like crazy, like all of the symptoms that I was feeling, and I was understanding that that was probably what was going on. And of course, you know, going and getting an ultrasound that early on is not going to show anything. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional or anything. Do your own research and talk to your own doctor about these sort of things, of course. It was brushed under the rug, basically. I was dismissed, and that left me to kind of deal and process my experience by myself, basically. It took me a long time to kind of accept that, and I did have people to talk about. I said I went through it by myself because you feel very alone in your feelings and stuff, but I did have people to talk to: my husband, my mom, my sister. So it's always a good idea to talk about your feelings and what you're going through, so you can have that validation and that, you know, comfort during hard times like that. And so that was our first experience. ever getting a positive pregnancy test. So fast forward to June 2022, I had the same experience. I had another positive pregnancy test, multiple, in fact, and it just, I was very quickly like brought back down when I started bleeding, and that is why it's relevant to the story that I said that all of the supplements that I was taking and stuff had not made me have a regular cycle. It had definitely helped my symptoms a lot, but it didn't necessarily fix any of my, it hadn't completely fixed all of my issues. So after our second chemical pregnancy, which I was devastated by, of course, we decided to seek for professional help, and we came across an acupuncturist who does acupuncture therapy for couples, specifically for fertility, and we did that. We were in therapy for 3 months. We did their program, and I did improve a lot. Like, my cycles were regulating, and I want to be completely transparent, I was still not 100% there, but that stuff is also expensive. So we decided that we would take a break and see how I did on my own, and that's where we are basically today, because we were referred to a fertility clinic by our acupuncturist, because of course, you know, there has to be some like underlying issue with my cycles. So I'm still not regular. I am, you know, still bleeding in between periods. So like my cycle is still a little bit all over the place. So that's kind of current day right now. Like, that's what I've been dealing with. We have an appointment with a fertility clinic in May. So it's a consult. We're gonna look at our options and see if we can afford it. If we can't, then, you know, that's okay. If we can, that'll be an exciting journey. But I will leave down below a link to I opened up a fundraiser for our fertility journey. So if that's something that you would like to support us with, if that's one way that you would like to support us, then we would very, very, very much appreciate it. Even if you can't donate to our fundraiser, you can just, you know, share this video or like or comment and like just talk to me about your own experience and, you know, how you overcame it, and or how you're going through the same process, and, you know, just exchange points of view and like experiences with me. That also helps a lot, because a lot of the times this trying to conceive journey can feel very lonely, and so if we can build a community that helps each other, then, you know, that's all you can really ask for, all that I can really ask for. This is sort of a way for me to document everything that we go through, just in life in general, because anybody who knows me personally knows that, you know, my phone storage is always like just full, because I'm always like taking pictures or video of whatever is happening. I don't necessarily share everything online, but I do like to just sit and look back, like, and just look through all of those things. And this is just a way to to kind of document that, you know, our lives without having to have it all on my phone storage too. So it's, you know, it's a win-win situation for me. So yeah, if you'd like to follow along our journey with us, then again, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I will be very happy to have you, and yeah, until next time, bye.